If the goods are transported through land or through seaport, so it is 20% of the FOB. Changing the value from foreign currency to Indian currency, we should consider CBIC's value, not the RBI's value. Once the products or goods reach to our Indian port, so what are the expenses happen from port to factory, we should not consider. Keep this in mind. If they give insurance, take that amount. If they did not give insurance, it is a law, we have to. Hello my dear students, I am Rajay sir, faculty, Department of Commerce and Management, Vidyashram First Aid College, Mysore, Temple of Excellence. My dear students, in today's session I am going to handle the subject Indirect Tax 2 for 6th Sem BCom, and the topic is Custom Duty. Now let's go to the first slide. So let's see, this is the format of calculation of computation of assessable value. So he will give purchase price of the goods. So actual purchase or cost of the machinery or cost of the product they will provide. So we have to add commission or brokerage except buying commission. So except buying commission, if we are paying any other commission, we have to add that amount. Next one, cost of packing, and also cost of materials or service provided by the importer. Next one, royalty and license fees paid by the exporter. Next one, share of supplier in sales. Next point. So if you add all the amount, so you'll get the FOB, free on board or freight on board value you will get. So add this amount, so we'll get total amount of FOB. Again we have to convert. This is the, they will give in foreign currency, so we have to convert to Indian currency. Let's assume, so $1 equals to 70 rupees. Let's assume $1 equals to 70 rupees. So we have to convert into number of USD into what is the price or cost of, or what is the value for Indian rupees. So now we'll get the amount here. So add this. So we'll get final amount here. Next point, add transportation and handling charges. Transportation and handling charges. So in case of land or seaport, 20% of the FOB. So if the goods are transported through land or through seaport, so it is 20% of the FOB. This is the FOB value. So on this we should calculate 20%. Or if in case, if goods are transported through air transportation, so in that case, either the 20% of the FOB value or the actual amount is paid. So whichever is lesser, either the 20% of FOB value or the actual amount paid for the freight. So whichever lesser, that amount has to be considered. In case of sea or land transportation, only 20% of the FOB value, or in case of air transportation, either 20% of the FOB or actual amount paid, whichever is lesser we have to consider. So that amount we have to add here. So then we will get cost of insurance. Cost of insurance. So if they give cost of insurance, they take that amount. If they did not give the insurance, then actual amount, or if the actual amount is not given, we should make it 1.125% of the FOB value. This is the law. This is the rules. If the insurance amount is not given, so we have to calculate 1.125% of the FOB value is the standard insurance amount. Add that amount, so we'll get the total amount. So CAF value or assessable value we will get. I hope you understand. If they give insurance, take that amount. If they did not give insurance, it is a law, we have to provide, or we have to consider insurance on 1.125% of the FOB value. In case of seaport or in case of land port transportation, so 20% of the FOB value. Or if it is a air transportation, then either the 20% of the FOB value or the actual amount, whichever is lesser, should be considered as a transportation and handling charges. Now let's go to the CAF value computed on foreign currency shall be converted into Indian rupees to arrive at the assessable value. Whatever the CAF value we will get here, that has to be converted into Indian value. So at the assessable value, at the exchange rate notified by the CBIC, Central Board for Indirect Tax and Customs Board is there. Central Board for indirect tax and customs duty board is there on this. Whatever the CBIC fix the price, that amount has to be considered. The value of the Indian currency will be fixed like, so 1 USD, so 1 US dollar equals to 70 rupees they will fix. So we should take only the amount or the value fixed by the CBIC, not the amount fixed by the RBI. For example, in your question, so I will give CBIC, Central Board for Indirect Tax and Custom Duty, has given $1 equals to 70 rupees. RBI has fixed 1 USD equals to 72 rupees. Which amount we have to consider now? So they have given both CBIC value also and RBI value also. So which amount we should consider? We should consider always, while calculating the custom duty, we should consider CBIC board's value, not the RBI value. Keep this in mind. So while doing the problem, while transferring or transacting or changing the value from foreign currency to Indian currency, we should consider CBIC's value, not the RBI's value. Next point, rate of duty shall be the rate in force on the date of presentation of the bill of entry, or the rate in force on the date of arrival of the aircraft, whichever is later. Whichever later means what? So either the bill of entry, so bill of entry is produced on what day bill of entry is produced, or the arrival of the aircraft to the Indian port. So whichever is later, that date should be considered for the calculation of. So for example, every day the value of rupee will be changing. So today it will be 71 rupees, tomorrow it will become 72, day after tomorrow it will become 73. On which amount we will consider? So either the bill of entry or the aircraft reaches the Indian port. So whichever is later should be considered. We see whichever not earlier, whichever is later. So for example, on 1st Jan 2020, so we have bill of entry is done. Okay, on 10th or on 5th Jan 20, the aircraft arrived to Indian port. So which date? So on this day, CBIC valued Indian rupee into 70 rupees. On this date is 71 rupees. 71 rupees. So what amount we have to consider? So we should, whichever is later means, which is the later? The later is 15th Jan 20. On this day, amount is 71 rupees. The value of the Indian rupee is 71 rupees. We should consider this amount, not the earlier amount. Now next point. Now let's go to the calculation of custom duty. First one, assessable value. Let's consider assessable value as 10 lakh rupees. 10 lakh rupees is the assessable value. On 10 lakh rupees, so let's consider this 10 lakh rupees as a point A. Point A. So on this point A, basic custom duty is, let's assume basic custom duty is 10% on 10 lakh rupees. So assessable value is 10 lakh. Assessable value is 10 lakh. On 10 lakh, basic custom duty will be 10%. Let's assume. So into 10%, it is 1 lakh. It is 1 lakh. So now it should be 1 lakh rupees. 1 lakh. Again, social welfare charges on this 1 lakh rupees, 10% we should calculate. Social welfare charges. So on 1 lakh, 10% means 10,000. 10% means 10,000. So this should be 10,000. Our understanding assessable value. Here we have calculated the assessable value. Take this amount right here. This will be considered as A. On this A, we should calculate 10% basic custom duty. It is B. Again, on this B, we should calculate 10% as social welfare charges. That is C. That is C, 10,000. So you will get add this amount. So 10 lakh plus 10,000 plus 1 lakh. So you will get 11 lakh 10,000. 11 lakh 10,000 is the subtotal for IGST, that is called as D. Okay, now IGST on D. On this amount we should calculate the IGST. So he will give IGST, the rate of IGST, for example 18% IGST. So on this we should calculate, on 11 lakh 10,000 we should calculate 18%. Let's calculate here. So 11 lakh 11,10,000 into 18%. So it is that is 1,99,800. So that is D. 1,99,800 equals to D. So again it will become, we'll consider as a E. 18% is 1,99,800 is the E. That is, we will consider E. Now safeguard duty. So what are the safeguard duty here? So safeguard duty, anti-dumping duty, other duty, we should add that duty here. Again, if specifically given in the case, that is on the C we should calculate. So on the C we should calculate, it may be safeguard duty, anti-dumping duty and other duty specifically given in case of on C we should calculate. On this C means 1 lakh, on this 1 lakh rupees we should calculate the safeguard duty, anti-dumping and other duties. Next one, add GST compensation cess on luxury and sin goods on C. Again on this C we should calculate, it may be GST compensation cess on luxury and sin goods means pan masala or liquor, these are called as sin goods. On this we should calculate extra duties. Again if you add that one, so here add B plus C, again E. Again don't take the full value of the D, don't take A, don't take D. While calculating the custom duty, take only consideration of B plus C plus E and F and G. So if you take all this amount, so again you will get total custom duty payable, Now let's go to the problem. Nilkam Industries Limited, Delhi has imported certain machine by C means, so this is the transportation through C. So while doing the FOB value, so in case of we have to calculate the transportation and handling charges. So in case of seaport, we should consider 20% of the FOB value. It is not airport or this is not air traveling. We are considering sea transportation. It is not air transportation, it is sea transportation. We should consider 20% of the FOB value. Okay. Now from Japan, from the information given below, compute the assessable value of the machine and custom duty payable by the Nilkam Industries Limited. Now CIF value, so cost, insurance and freight value. CIF means cost, insurance and freight value of the machine is 4,23,000. Freight incurred from the port of entry to inland container depot is 25,000. Again, unloading and handling charges paid at the place of importation is 40,000. Design charges paid by consultancy firm in Mumbai is 10,000. Basic custom duty is 10% and integrated tax leviable under the section 3 subsection 7 of the Custom Duty Act or Tariff Act is, so Tariff Act 1975 is 18%. Ignore the GST compensation cess. Now let's go to the problem. So what is the assessable value, CIF value here? So already has given the CIF value, that means this is the problem as for 5 marks question. This is the 5 marks question. Already CIF value they have given, no need to calculate CIF value. So we can go to the calculation of custom duty. So CIF value, take CIF value. What is the CIF value here? It is 4,23,000. For this, add basic custom duty 10% on A. This is A. So on A, add 10%. So if you again add social welfare charges on B. So on this B, this is the B. On this B, 10%. That is so 42,300 into 10%. So we'll get 4,230. So add these 3 items. This is called a C. Add these 3 items. We'll get 4,69,530. This is called as D. This is called as D. A plus B plus C equals to D. Again, we have to add the GST at 18% on D. On the this amount D, we should calculate the GST at 18%. So 4,69,530 into 18%. So into 18% you'll get so 84,550. So put this amount here. So we'll get, so now we should consider, don't take A, don't take D, only take B. See, while calculating the custom duty, actual custom duty payable is B plus C plus D equals to total custom duty payable. Don't take assessable value, don't take amount we have added A plus B plus C. Don't take this amount, don't take this amount. Only take the taxes. Only take the taxes. Here basic custom duty is B and C is the social welfare charges and D is the total GST payable. So add these three items, we'll get 1,31,045 is the total custom duty payable. The next point, note, freight insurance from the port to entry to inland container depot, unloading and handling charges paid at the place of importation, designing charges paid to the consultancy firm in the Mumbai are not includable. So why it is done in our country? Once the products or goods reach to our Indian port, so what are the expenses happen from port to factory, we should not consider. Keep this in mind. So always whatever the charges, expenses paid by the importer, once the goods reach to our Indian port, once the goods reach to our Indian port, so from goods from port to his factory or his place of business, if we make any charges, if he paid any expenses, that should not be considered. Only we should consider from the place of exportation to the place of importation, whatever the charges, it may be insurance, loading and handling charges, any expenses paid by the, it may be importer or exporter. So only till goods reach to our Indian port, it may be airport, seaport or land port. Once the goods reached, any expenses paid by the importer after goods reach to the Indian port, that item should not be considered. Here that's what. So unloading and handling charges, see here. Here freight incurred from the port of entry to inland container means what? So port, already goods are reached to our port. From port to inland container, he has paid 25,000. You should not take this one. Next point, unloading and handling charges paid at the place of importation. Once the goods is reached to our port, so we should not consider this amount. Designing charges paid by the consultancy firm, we should not take this. So basic custom duty we have to consider. So now let's go to the next point. Unloading and handling charges incurred at the land port are includable, but charges incurred at place of importation are not includable. So even though we add unload and handling charges, we will add it, but it is happened in the once the goods are reached to our Indian port. So once the goods are reached, any expenses paid for that importation or exportation we should not consider. So only till the goods reach to our port, any expenses made before goods reaching to our place should be considered. So once the goods reach to our place or our port, we should not consider. Next point, next problem, compute the assessable value of the firm. The particulars given below. So Disha Limited imported a machine for an invoice value USD 8,000 USD, including USD 500 as charges for the erecting and commissioning the machine in India. Next one, Disha Limited had supplied some raw materials outside India, so which were supplied to the foreign supplier. The US dollar is 300. We can take this amount, we can consider this amount, even though no raw materials or any material supplied by the customers, we can consider this point. Next one, the machinery was imported through vessel. Vessel means seaport. So only we should take, while calculating the FOB value, transportation charges, we can take 20% of the FOB value. Next point, Disha Limited paid the demurrage charges 15,000 rupees port to port authorities as imported goods were not cleared from the port with a specified time. Next one, transportation charges 20,000 rupees were incurred for the transportation of goods from port to inland container. This should not be taken, because once the goods reach to our port, any transportation charges happen or occurred from port to the factory. Factory means our factory or place of business. We should not consider. The foreign exchange rate was USD is 65 rupees. 1 USD equals to 65 rupees. Now let's do the problem. So invoice value of the imported machine is $8,000. So he has given the $8,000. We have considered this one. Next point, material supplied by supplier or customers. We should take this one. Next one, less post importation erection charges 500. See here, he has given including the 500 rupees as a charges for erection and commission at the machine in India. So once the goods are reached to our port, so he has paid 500 rupees for the commissioning means for installation charges and also for other transportation charges. He has paid 500 rupees as a $500 for the commission and erecting charges. Once the goods reached our port, any expenses happened, we should not consider, keep this in mind. So that means 8,000 minus 500 rupees. The actual cost to till goods reach to our port is 7,500 rupees. So we should make it 7,500 rupees. So deduct this amount. Next one, add ocean freight. So ocean freight means 20% of the FOB value. If they give amount, 20% of the FOB value here. So CF value is, already they have given the ocean freight. So already they have given the ocean freight here. What is the ocean freight? So the machine was imported through vessel. The USD was paid is 800 rupees. So if they given amount, we can consider the amount. If they did not give, 20% of the FOB value. Now if you add all the amount, it will become 8,500 rupees. Now assessable value equals to 1 rupee equals to 65 rupees. So now we are converting $8,500 equals to 65 rupees. We can write here. So 1 USD equals to 65 rupees. 65 rupees. We can write here. Now, so what is the note? Post importation charges are not included in custom value. Hence, the charges for erections and commissioning in India are deducted from the invoice value. Already I told you, once the goods reach to our Indian port, any expenses you paid from port to factory, transportation, installation charges, erection charges, we should not consider. Only expenses made before goods reaching the Indian port, that has to be taken. Next one, demurrage charges to port authorities are not included in the customs value. So here what he has given here, see, demurrage charges 15,000 rupees. Port authority has imported goods were not charged from the port with a specified time. This is the fine they are paying. This is the fine they are paying, and this is the other expenses which is not related to transport the goods from America to India. This is the additional fine. So on fine amount, we should not provide any custom duty on the fine amount. Now let's go to the next problem. From the following particulars, determine the assessable value of the imported equipment. So FOB, already they have given the FOB. FOB cost of the equipment from Japan yen is 2 lakh yens. Freight charges is 20,000 yens. Charges for development connected to equipment paid in India is 60,000. Even though they have paid anywhere, but the amount is paid before importing the product. That means we have to consider that one. Next one, insurance charges in India for the transportation from Japan. Even though we will consider this one, because even though insurance we are paying, we may pay from importer country or exporter country. Before the goods is reached, the amount is paid. So for the purpose of transportation from other country or foreign country to Indian country, we are paying the amount. So we can consider this one. Next one, you can consider 60,000 also. So commission payable to grant in India 15,000 rupees. Next one, exchange rate by the RBI. So 1 yen equals to 0.45 paisa or rupees. So CBIC, the exchange rate fixed by the CBIC is 1 yen equals to 0.50. So which you consider, always keep this in mind. Any exchange rate fixed by the RBI we should not consider. So we should consider only exchange rate fixed by the CBIC. So Central Board for Indirect Tax and Custom Duty, that amount or that value we should consider. To do any problem, only we should consider this CBIC's value, not the RBI's value. Now let's do the problem. FOB value of equipment imported is 20,000 yen. So if you convert this one, so what is the rate here? So 1 yen equals to rupees 50, 0.50. Now if you convert this to 0.50, it will become 2 lakh, will become 1 lakh rupees. Next one, add freight charges. See here. So what is the freight charges? 20,000 rupees. We should add freight charges. So again, add transit insurance. Even though it is paid in other country, foreign country, or it is paid in India, so we are paying this amount before goods reach to Indian port. One thing. Second one, the expenses happen to transport the goods from foreign port to Indian port, then that amount has to be considered. So we have to consider the 15,000 rupees. Next one, commission payable to agent in India. Even though agent resides in India, but we are paying the commission to give the business. So he is the person who has given the business or opportunity of the business to from the foreign country. So that's why we had to pay the amount for, even though we are paying in India. So this process happened before goods reach to Indian port. So for example, if the same commission is paid for the Indian broker or Indian agent, so to reach the goods from port to factory, then we should not consider. So only, so in order to, he has the person given the business for us. So before deal occurs in the foreign country, then we should consider the this item 50,000 rupees. Add of all 4 items, it will become 1,40,000. Now from the following details given below, compute the assessable value and custom duty payable. So FOB value of the machine is 8,000 UK pounds. Next one, freight paid through air transportation. So air transportation means either the 20% of the FOB value or the actual freight paid. So whichever is lesser we should consider. Next one, design and development charges paid $500, 500 euro pounds. Next one, commission payable to the local agent 2% of the FOB value in the Indian currency. Now date of inward entry is 20th 10 2020. The rate of basic custom duty on that day is 12.5% and the exchange rate notified by the CB, Central Board of Indirect Tax and Custom Duty, is 69 rupees. So which is later? So 24th 10 2020 again. So 20th 10 2020. So which is later? So this 24th is the later date. So we should consider this amount 68 rupees we should consider, and the while calculating the custom duty. Next point, IGST is 12% plus social welfare charges at acceptable rate. Next one, insurance charges detail not available. So when the insurance is not available, we should consider CAF value of the 1.125% of the CAF value we should consider as a insurance. So even though they did not give the insurance value, we have to add insurance value. This is the law. So what is the insurance value we have to add? So 1.125% of the CAF value should be added as a insurance. Now let's calculate FOB value of the machine. What is the FOB value of the machine? So let's take the amount here first. So what is the amount? 68 rupees. 1 GBP. 1 GBP equals to 68 rupees. 68 rupees. Okay, now what is the value of the machine? 8,000 GBP. Now let's convert to Indian rupees. So if you convert Indian rupees, it is 8,000 into 68 rupees equals to 5,44,000. Again, we have to add the freight. So what is the actual freight? This is the air transportation. So what is the actual freight here? So actual freight is 2,500. So either the 2,500 GBP or the 20% of the FOB value, whichever is lesser, should be considered as a freight. Now either the freight 2,500 or the 20% of the FOB value. So 8,000. So I'll write here 8,000 into 20%. So it will become 1,600. Which is lesser? 1,600 is lesser. Take 1,600 rupees. Convert this to Indian rupees. It will become 1,68,800. Again, add transportation charges when they are not given. So we should take 1.125% of the FOB value. So 1.125% of the FOB value. So if you, so FOB is 8,000 into 1.125%. So if you do it, you get 90 rupees. If you convert this to Indian rupees, it will become 6,120 rupees. Again, design and development charges paid in UK is 500 rupees. Again, convert to Indian rupees, it will become 34,000. Again, add selling commission to local agent 2% of the FOB value. It will become, we are paying in India only, so we can directly take FOB value of, what is the FOB value? 5,44,000. So 5,44,000 into 2%. So if you do it, so you'll get 10,880 rupees. Add all the amount. So you'll get the CAF value or the assessable value. See, remember this in mind. So if the transportation through air, so you should take either the freight, actual freight, or the 20% of the FOB, whichever is lesser. Again, if the insurance charges is not given, if they give insurance charges, take that amount. If they did not give, so we should take 1.125% of the FOB value should be considered as a actual insurance according to the law. Now let's calculate the computation of custom duty for this. So what is the assessable value? 7,03,800 rupees is the assessable value. Let's consider this as a. So add basic custom duty. So he has given the basic custom duty here. So what is the basic custom duty on this date? 10% is the basic custom duty. Add the basic custom duty on this. So 7,03,800 into 10%. So we will get 70,380 rupees. So this is the, let's consider this as a B. Again we have to add social welfare surcharge on this B. So on this 70,380 rupees into 10% means 7,038 rupees. 7,038 rupees. Add these three items, we will get D. We will get T, 77,81,218 rupees. On this we should calculate the 12% of IGST. 12% of IGST means, so 7,81,218 into 12%. So we'll get IGST is 93,746. Now don't take A and don't take D while calculating this is the custom duty. Custom duty. So while calculating the custom duty, take this one B, basic custom duty, and take the welfare charges, second one and third one. Only consider these three items. Don't consider the assessable value. We are only calculating the duty or tax. Don't take the assessable value of the machinery, and also total value of the machinery including the tax. We should not consider this point and this point. Only take first one 70,380 and 7,038 plus IGST is 93,746. Add these three items, will get the amount as total custom duty payable. Now, so CIF value computed on foreign currency shall be converted into the Indian rupees to arrive at the assessable value at the exchange rate notified by the CB Central Board of Indirect Tax on the date of presentation of the bill of entry. So whichever is later should be considered, not earlier. Next one, rate of duty shall be rate in force on the date of presentation of the bill of entry on 24/10/2020. For here we will end the session. In the next session again we will solve 15 marks problem. Till then, thank you so much.